is Workroom in Houston, Texas, working on a 4-inch ruffle for Rachel Barrera, who just is working on this very elaborate treatment to be displayed at the International Window Coverings Expo in Charlotte, North Carolina. Anyway, the theme this year was Broadway, and her inspiration was Phantom of the Opera. And so it's a beautiful embroidered sheer and then other very rich fabrics surrounding it with a lot of detail. My job is to, as a Sioux sewer, help her with some of the pieces, and I'm going to cut the ruffle and stitch it all together, and then we'll apply it to the sheer. Today I'll be doing some product research for Adaptive Textiles. We've got a new grid. This is not a grid printed on canvas like our traditional grids. This is a new material that we actually print on our wallpaper printer. It's made out of recycled water bottles, and it's supposed to not shrink when you press on it. And so we thought we'd print a grid and give it a try and see if we can have something that can be a temporary grid that you can use and then fold up and put away, and then be on another surface when you have it set aside. It's perfect trial for making ruffles, where we're going to have to cut a lot of 10-inch strips.
Okay. Hey, don't cut yet.
Okay. Okay.
So
what's up?
We want to go put the ruffle on the bottom of the panel as well.
Okay, not just the leading edge?
Not just the leading edge, but also
Okay.
along the bottom, because it's a sheer, and when we fold up the hem twice, we can see through.
Right, so you won't do a double hem,
No.
you'll just take the ruffle.
From the leading edge all the way down across the bottom.
All
And
right.
maybe even cut that corner out so it's a little softer.
So I was thinking if we did a 4-inch ruffle, I'm just going to cut 10-inch strips.
Yes.
And let's just see, we'll use this up, get
Yeah.
as much as we can, and then as I start pleating it up, we can decide how full to make it, so get your length.
Awesome.
Okay?
Thank
Way
you.
to go. All right, I'm on it. Okay, here we go. So this grid has 10-inch markings, darker markings. It's gridded every inch. That's going to make it even easier if we go with 10-inch spacing. I'm going to use this as the face, this darker stripe, and the lighter stripe will be folded up inside. And since it's going to be a ruffle that is just folded so that we don't have to hem it, ultimately I want 4 inches after a seam, so I'll do a full 10-inch cut so that I've got a little extra I can serge off. You always lose length in a ruffle too. You always lose some length in a ruffle when you're gathering it up. You know, what you thought was going to be 4 inches looks much smaller. Okay, so I'll get the initial cut just by pulling back and following the grid line underneath. That was taking too long, just going straight across. So let's do a little folding so we can cut through multiple layers at a time. I like to just continue with a running stitch rather than stopping and cutting between each section. Oh, yeah.
I don't want to worry about the sweat yet. We got enough to cut cornices and all that. But I'll swag tomorrow. I want to lay out the.
I'm also not that worried about being perfectly straight or perfectly square. I mean, I'm lining the edges up, but I don't have to be super careful because it's getting gathered up into a ruffle. So all your imperfections will be hidden.
Board up here. So I can just kind of. If I do later, that's okay.
That wasn't the most convincing answer I've ever
I know. I got it.
It's usually on my part.
Well, that's
Now I
okay. I didn't know if I
can
could.
snip. You know,
I tried. So stripes, we need to work on the vinyl.
here's one that's not so perfectly aligned. That's why I did
I do
the
too.
extra inch seam allowance on each side. Remember, it was 4-inch finished ruffle and the cut 10 inches. So we'll fold that in half by 5 inches, but we'll be able to
Well, that's why I
even these
picked all
things up
three of
when we
these.
come back around.
But I thought, oh, I got the second way.
Now when I run this through, I want to make sure that it's not slipping. Although that can create an interesting look if you create a ruffle when it's off like that. But we're not after that. We're going to be after some crisp pleated ruffles. So we want to make sure our stripes stay square and these layers don't shift. And I'm going to trim off just about 1/4 of an inch. And again, this is why your cut didn't have to be perfect, because we'll clean it up here at this stage. And just making sure that these layers aren't shifting and it's getting skewed. This fabric's very nice and stable. And I can double check that when we get to the seam. Make sure the seam's all going one direction. Line it up. When I approach a seam, I just am mindful of where I want to hide it, and I think I'm going to hide it under. There we go. That will hide it. And that's just finished one width. I'm going to take it off and get a measure so we can see how many widths it's going to take to finish the. These are not making a lot more ruffle than I need. Okay, so one width of fabric.
Right. That's why I did them at 99.
24 inches of ruffle.
4 inches of ruffle.
And how much
I need to
is
check
We
this
had
dimension
140 and
because I only have 96 inches.
Okay, so
Good
140.
point. Let me check.
Let's just get a calculator.
well, let's say 300 divided by 25.
There we go. Oh, so smart. That's 12. Yeah, right? Okay, so as long as I have 12 shoes.
Right, we're good to go.
Thanks. Okay, so a width of fabric, which was about 60 inches, pleats down to about 25. And as a rule of thumb, I always keep in mind if I'm being really careful about making sure that each pleat, the back fold touches the front of the previous one, then that would be exactly 3 times fullness. So I'm actually going a little bit more loose in that. I am tucking close together, but the back side of each fold is not quite touching the front of the previous. And I usually just go ways like maybe three little pleats at a time. 1, 2, 3, trying to keep things pretty square. But the unevenness to it, your just natural irregularity is good because we want it to look more like a ruffle than like finger pleated and really flat.
Okay, that's just a little.
Done. Yeah, I didn't know what those. So you think you want to just? I kind of want to get this.
Tracking your count. If you start with, we needed 12, so if we start with 12 pins in this little tray, and then take one out and put it in the bowl each time. We've crossed 2 seams.
Okay, yeah, I don't
So we have 10 pins left.
We're good.
Same. Another 10. Only 2 pins left. Now, add a ruffle, add a thread to the bottom. Oh, so this isn't a flat shade like thing. It's a lightly, loosely gathered rod pocket panel. Okay, with a roughly like 6 to 8 inch. I think it's gonna be like 8 inch bottom. Okay.
You're gonna ruffle it, right? I'll do all the prep this time.
Okay.
Okay, I'm stitching just a hair inside of the 1 inch mark, just to give it a little ease when you roll it over. Alright, I'm just going through and removing the staples we put in so we can double fold it and get the top serged.
If you're working on a bed skirt or a soft cornice where you've got black outlining in here, you want to be really careful not to have the black outlining folded at the base. But for this ruffle, it doesn't matter at all. It's soft, so we're just going to flip it up and not worry about exactness.
Priscilla, the workroom supervisor, just showed me how to work the ruffler on this serger. Let me show you. You just run the fabric right through and it's gathering as I do it. I think I have to hold it a little tighter because it's super fast. Check that out. Serged and ruffled all at the same time. It's an attachment. When you're not ruffling, this moves over like that. And this bar here is the one that works the ruffling. So when you want to ruffle, you just engage this foot Yeah. Lift the foot up. Slide the attachment in. And then so, again, it's just an extra knee operation.
Ready for Rachel's project.
No. And but the other thing is too, that if we like first switch around all those wires, we might actually poke some.
Oh my God, I love this thing. If we had known about it yesterday, it would have been.
Am I vote?
Okay. Oh, I think I need one of these too.
The white one.
If anyone's not ever seen one of these surging rufflers, you gotta come see this. This is so cool.
Yeah, I do want to see it.
Look at that.
It's gonna make a real cool ball.
Yeah, but you run it through twice.
That was my question. I didn't want to ask it while it was being taped.
Yep, you run it through twice. See, I ran this one through twice.
Okay, so if you need it to be fuller,
Yeah,
then you just
like
do it a
that's-
second time.
That's like 3 times the fullness.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Wow, and it's just a flat piece.
Second pass.